Water is pouring over the seawall. This is Kamaishi. Huge waves engulfed the city in an instant. From Tohoku to Hokkaido and all the way to Kanto, great scars of damage was observed after the quake and the tsunami. Water is gushing in the Miyako city of Iwate Prefecture. Especially hard hit was the complex coastlines of the Sanriku area. This is a Rias coastline with small inlets and coves. Once a tsunami comes into this area, water concentrates into these small inlets. Especially in these areas, there were several earthquakes with their focus off the Miyagi coast. People were prepared against tsunami disasters. In Miyako City of Iwate Prefecture, there is this district called Taro. This is a photograph taken 115 years ago after the Meiji Sanriku earthquake. 22,000 people lost their lives because of a major tsunami. The district lost 83% of its population. Then in 1933, after the Showa Sanriku earthquake, 500 households out of a total 559 were washed away or collapsed. People wanted to prevent another tsunami disaster from happening, so in 1934, the people of Taro district decided to create a seawall. And in 1967, after 30 years of construction, a 10-meter tall seawall was completed. The wall was created along the inlet and river in Taro district. It expands an area of 2 kilometers. It was supposed to be an impregnable seawall. If we were to create a seawall like this today, it would cost several billions of yen. However, the seawall could not prevent the massive tsunamis from hitting the city. The massive earthquake's energy was said to was massive. It is said that this was a once-in-a-millennium type of earthquake, and the tsunami waves easily went over the 10-meter high walls. One survivor says that it was a really severe tsunami. It wasn't just the tsunami, but also the earthquake itself was horrible. She said that thinking about the 1933 tsunami, she thought that she would be okay. However, the water poured over the wall, and that was why she was drenched. The fire department people helped her to get here, she says. Another survivor says that there used to be a home there where you see a car. He points to where his house used to stand. Asked how the waves came and struck. He says that he heard on TV that the tsunami waves were 4-meter high. However, he says that these seawalls are 10-meter high, but the waves were higher than the walls. So he supposes that the tsunami could have been 14 meters high. And this man says that it was far greater than the 1933 tsunami. was more than he could imagine. The force of nature was demonstrated by this tsunami. And the energy was more than what people expected, and the survivors were left with nothing.
The
tsunamis also devastated the southern part of Fukushima Prefecture, which has a coastline that is different from Aria's coastline. This is the Soma area in Fukushima Prefecture. A plain follows the coastline toward the inland area, and it was said that the tsunami wave's height would not be as high as a tsunami that may hit Aria's coastline. However, according to record, a 7-meter, 30-centimeter high major tsunami could have hit this area. The tsunami wave could have been even higher. This is an elderly home, and it has been swallowed by the tsunami, and you see upturned cars. This woman says that black water came gushing forward, and her car was about to be swallowed by the wave. She said that she didn't have time to see how high the waves were. And this woman says that a gray wave came toward her like a wall. It looked like the big surf waves that you see in cartoons. For the people who were trying to evacuate to high ground, it was not just the height of the waves, but the speed of the traveling wave was tremendous and surprised the people. According to previous disaster prevention plans in Fukushima, the assumption was that the first wave would hit 1 hour after the earthquake. However, the actual tsunami wave came just 9 minutes after the earthquake. The survivor says that it was horrible. She can't say how high the waves were. She cannot find words to describe the tsunami waves. She says that she was able to see the waves swallowing up everything in its pathway. She says that her knees were shaking. The tsunami bulldozed down many buildings, just leaving the foundations behind. The major tsunami caused great damage over a 500-kilometer stretch along the Pacific coast in the Tohoku region. The speed of the wave and also the vast disaster area also were beyond people's expectations. What created such major tsunami waves? The experts say that there were many things that they did not expect and assume when they planned beforehand. At the University of Tokyo Earthquake Research Institute, Professor Takashi Furumura researches tsunami waves and also earthquakes using seismic wave and other data. This is the Yokohama Stadium during the earthquake. Quakes were felt 300 kilometers away from the focus in the Tokyo metropolitan area. These are seismic waves observed at the Tokyo University. You can see the waves that continue for a very long time, and the amplitude is very large. This strong quake that continued for a long time shows the characteristics of the big earthquake. The 1995 Great Hanshin Awaji earthquake. In intensity 7 on the Japanese scale of 0 to 7, a quake was registered, and it continued for over 15 seconds. Comparing the seismic waves of the two earthquakes tells us that the recent earthquake continued 20 times longer than the Great Hanshin Awaji earthquake. Why did such a horrible quake continue for over a long period? Off the Tohoku coast lies the Pacific Plate, and it subducts under the Japanese archipelago. And when this happens, the plate on the land side is pulled by the Pacific Plate, creating a strain. In this earthquake, the strain was so large that it was no longer able to hold the strain, and the plate jumped up. And the plate's movement spread from the focus at a speed of 3 kilometers per second. And the impact could have spread over an area stretching 200 kilometers by 500 kilometers, and that is why we have this 5-minute-long quake. Professor Furumura says that this was the biggest earthquake probably ever recorded in the history of Japan. The focus was in the area off the Miyagi coast. It is said that an earthquake would hit in a cycle of 30 to 40 years. The last major earthquake occurred 33 years ago, in 1978. It was a magnitude 7.4 earthquake, which caused reinforced concrete buildings to collapse and oil tanks to rupture. 28 people died in this earthquake. When will the next big earthquake hit? From about 10 years ago, the government has asked experts to try to predict the next big quake. According to a report by the experts, they said that there is a 99% probability of a large-scale earthquake hitting in the next 30 years. The yellow part shows where the government expected where the focus would be. That would be the area the government expected the plate to jump up. However, in this earthquake, the plate jumped up over a very large area that stretches from around the Iwate Prefecture area to Miyagi Prefecture. The seabed may have heaved over several meters, over a 500 kilometers stretch from north to south. And that lifted up the water, and that water advanced toward the land as a tsunami. Professor Furumura says that from Iwate to the north and Fukushima to the south, maybe it would have stretched over to Ibaraki. And the magnitude, which was expected to be about 7.5, in the end registered a magnitude 9.0. And the energy of the quake was 80 to 90 times larger than was initially expected. Great tsunamis hit the Pacific coast of Japan right after the earthquake. And in Taro district of Iwate Prefecture, the water jumped over the 10-meter tall protective wall. And The Soma district of Fukushima Prefecture saw the waters rushing toward them faster than expected. Many of the tidal gauges were damaged because of the massive tsunami.